you ever sit and wonder and think what it takes to have a commander so powerful that you must max him? Like, you have to max him. You have to focus on your priorities to get him maxed. Well, this is the video that's gonna like break that down. We're gonna talk about the criteria for a must max commander, okay? And when commanders come out into the game, we try to speculate and make predictions. It's all part of the fun. It's part of being the content creator. It's great. And we all have our investment tier list that we try to tell you, you know, who to invest in and why. Well, now with Sun Tzu in the game, we need to apply that criteria to him and see if he is going to be a must max commander and speculate. That's what we get to do and have fun with. So stick around, because this is the video that's going to break down the criteria, that's going to define what a must max commander is, and is going to apply it to Sun Tzu, and we'll find out how good he really is.
You feel that burn and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatsky mode. This is Chatsky mode.
Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatsky, and I do this kind of content all the time and love absolutely pumping out these videos and doing content with you guys and having a good time with it. If you would be so kind, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button. Really helps us out, helps out the channel, and helps out these types of videos. Also, if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that subscribe button, join the whole host of people who are in our community, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to join my Discord down there. Well, this is Tzu Unknown. Okay, he is probably the most powerful commander in the game. All right, and so a lot of people will ask me, like Chatsky, like, hey, who's your must max commanders? What's your tier list as far as investments go? What are you trying to get done? All those different questions that come up. And so when we try to figure this thing out, we are really identifying the best of what we can do. And so from there, we have to identify what these commanders are. When these commanders come in the game, typically they release the skills, and then they release the commanders in the game so you can look at them for yourself. We just got Sun Tzu Prime, and the number one question I'm getting right now is, oh my God, is he, Chatsky, is he one of your must max commanders? Is it somebody, a player that's running 1 infantry march needs to max, or 2 infantry marches? And we're going to go through that, and we're going to give you the criteria. So with that, we have 5 must max commanders, okay? We've got Arthur and we've got Achilles on the cavalry side. 2 busted good commanders, crazy amounts of damage, different effects, unique skills that they have, and you can pair them with just about anybody and do really well. Then for infantry, we have BQ and Luce. Luce is probably the longest lasting must max commander I've seen in the game. Like, he is that good, that powerful. When he came out over 2 years ago, he just broke the game. And so from that standpoint, he is exceptional even to this day. His damage output's amazing. He's got unique skills. You can pair him with multiple people. It doesn't matter. And then they gave us BQ, okay? And so BQ, the same as Luce, crazy stuff he has, and you can pair him with a lot of different people. He'll be amazing. And then finally, we've got Chen. Probably the best of all of them, and he is just broken. Like, he is the number 1 priority. Of all the 5 must max commanders, he is like the number 1 priority. People ask me all the time, even last night, answering questions from people saying, hey, if I'm gonna do the commander refund, I don't have Chen yet, should I get him? And I'm like, yeah. Is the sky blue? Yes. That's who you get. Doesn't matter what gear you put on him. It doesn't matter who you pair him with. He is going to be exceptional in your murder ball lineup, okay? So those 3 criteria are what we need to focus on, all right? And so it's 3 criteria, and I'm going to go through them with you real quick. This is must max commander 3 criteria, all right? Number 1, and first and foremost, is massive damage AoE. Now, I put AoE in parentheses because sometimes you can have massive damage and have little components or functions of AoE. But that's the commonality with all 5 of these must max commanders, is that they all do massive AoE, like a ton of AoE. 5 target AoE, 2250 damage factor. He's got a great march speed reduction. Also with Luce, he's also got the extra combo attack that he does to really ramp up the rage engine. Same thing with BQ, massive 2400 AoE. 2400 5 target AoE is like the biggest like single active skill like in the game. It's like crazy. And so with this, he also does extra damage with that. He's got all kinds of unique skills, and he's got the unique skill of the malice stacks, okay, which is kind of good, but Now there's other ways that thing becomes even more enhanced. I'll get into that later with Sun Tzu. You've got Chen. Okay, he's gonna do like 6 target AoE, massive damage, consume rage. He does all this crazy stuff. Like, even players today still don't understand how his whole kit works. And so that's what you have to trust there. Arthur, 3 target AoE, massive damage. Highest 3 target AoE of any commander in the game that's in the field. And so it's 3 targets, but it's just such a high damage factor, and you're not getting hit with all this target reduce situation of 15% for every target. 5 target AoE commanders, this is great, but this 15% mitigation is always applied, and when you hit 5 targets, that literally ramps down your damage 50%. Okay, well, not near as much, because 70% is the lowest you'll go if you hit 3 targets over here. And so from there, Arthur's got unique skills, unique abilities, all the different things he does, and he works exceptionally well. Now we've got Achilles. Like, when Achilles came out, people didn't understand how he worked, right? They didn't understand how this Palian spear and how you're doing, you're taking on damage. And when you take that damage, you inflict enough damage factor of the damage received that you fire off his expertise again. Well, that was one of the first to kind of go through and say, guys, like, we need to confirm this. And once they put him in the game, we did confirm it. The Palian spear and his expertise is crazy. Like, it's crazy. And I was calling him like, hey, he's a must-max commander. He's broken. And people were like literally getting mad at me for saying that. And so I am of the belief that, like, listen, I played this game for 6 years. I know how to look at these skills. I know who to ask when I don't understand. And I love doing that investigative findings. But it turned out I was right. Achilles is crazy broken. Must max. Okay. And you can apply these 3 categories to any one of those commanders. Massive AoE damage is number 1. Pairing capability is number 2. Okay, that is very, very important. All right, pairing capabilities. You can put Achilles behind Attila. You can put him behind Genge. You can put him behind Arthur. You can put him behind just about anybody. You can run him primary with Hector behind him. You can run him primary with Philip behind him. He is gonna be insanely good no matter who he's with and how he's set up. Same thing with Arthur. Now, Arthur really helped carry Huo, and even some people ran Joan, because as a secondary commander, he did 2,800 damage factor of skill damage. So he was like carrying those commanders as a skill damage commander when you ran him secondary. But when you run him primary, guys, you run him with William the Conqueror. We've talked about that. You can run him with Philip. Now you can run him with Achilles. You can run him with Hector. Oh my gosh, Arthur Hector's fantastic. You can run him with so many different, you can run him with David. You can run him with so many different commanders, he's going to make them look good. Okay, that was always the thing with Luce. Luce was so good and still is so good. You can run him with anybody, and he's going to carry him and make him look amazing. Okay, Luce Alex, still a great march. Luce Philip, no problem at all. BQ Luce, crazy good. Okay, and now with Sun Tzu coming in the game, that appears to be like the best pairing for Sun Tzu because of so much rage engine, adding to the rage engine and firing off his active skill as fast as possible. So you put Luce with anybody. It's the same with BQ. Okay, I put Hector behind BQ, just crushing it. I put Philip behind BQ, crushing it. Some players who have leadership gear run Philip primary and BQ secondary. That works. Okay, you can put BQ, you can put William Wallace with him, you can put CJ with him. You can do all these different things when it comes to BQ, and he is going to be good. So the pairing aspect and application is off the charts. In addition to that, that's all of your Cavs and infantry. Well, then you have Chen. Guys, you can put Markswoman with Chen, and he's going to do exceptionally well. Okay, he's gonna carry anybody you put him with. I put Shajar with him in Strife just to kind of test out a little bit of the normal damage stuff that I love to do. And Shajar's got a little interesting buff here that every time she heals, and she heals multiple marches, she's gonna give him 20% more damage for 3 seconds. Well, I put that behind Chen because Chen fires off every 4 to 5 seconds, and this thing fires off like nonstop. And when I'm running all smite and combo marches, it works out really, really well. But the common one you want to put is Zuge or YSG. I mean, he's like, Chen is literally carrying anything that you put him with. And so that's what makes him a must-max commander, okay? So from there, the third criteria is instant damage or some sort of unique skill set that they might have. That's what I look for with these max commanders. Love Arthur because Arthur does instant damage, instant proc damage, and it's really, really freaking good. Okay, it's exceptional. Just like here, when you've got the extra combo, that thing will fire off so fast and so quick. He's got so much instant damage, and that's why he's so good when it comes to procking other things, procking your equipment procs. 10% chance to get this or get that. The equipment procs are in there, obviously, for tier 5 stuff. Furious Strike, when you look at that particular skill, you got a 10% chance to gain 6.5% damage boost for 2 seconds. Like, he procs that stuff all the time with his instant combo stuff. That's really, really good. You go into BQ, he's got this malice stack situation where he's gonna like do perpetual red numbers, and it just adds up over time. It adds up while you're in the fight, and you're just hammering off red numbers all the time. That's one of the reasons why BQ is good, along with the fact that he's got just a massive 5-target AoE. And so from there's unique skills to all these guys that really, really work well. Okay, Luce, the same thing. His unique skill has always been his expertise. This has no cooldown. It's a 25% every single second. It's a rage engine. It helps you with instant procs. That's why Luce and Alex work so well. Luce and Philip work so well, because Luce and Alex has massive instant procs when he fires off. Same thing with Philip, massive instant proc when he fires off. Where's Alex here? This is the best instant proc in the game. 1700 damage factor, and just boom, fires, can fire off every 3 seconds. That's what makes Luce unique when it comes to his unique abilities, and then how that translates into instant damage. Instant damage is king in the game right now. Chin's the same way. The reason why Chin is so freaking good is because he literally starts his AoE right off the rip, right when you start hitting players. Okay, he comes to the battle with 500 rage already. He starts consuming that, and the minute you hit a target, he starts laying out red numbers to 5 and 6 targets. It's crazy, and that's what makes him work exceptionally well. Very unique. And when it comes to Achilles, same thing. Okay, now he doesn't have an instant proc right off the rip, but what makes him incredible is that when he stays at high HP, he's just absorbing the damage that's being done, and when that damage factor hits 2500, which does all the time, he fires off his active skill. So he literally fires off this massive 5-target AoE combo active skill, and he does it like every other skill cycle. It's like a Joan effect. Okay, he's like an upgraded version of Joan, because on average he does this like every 10 seconds. And so from his expertise, that's what makes him really, really unique. Okay, so those are the 3 criteria that we look for in must max commander, or what I look for. You've also got like buffing and debuffing, you've got march speed, you've got other things that you look at, but those are the 3 main things to where you cannot live without those commanders. Like, you have to get those commanders. And so with that, let's go apply that to Sun Tzu, because he is the only single target damage commander I would even consider as a must max commander. So this is going to be very important, because I'm going to show you guys, this is a situation to where they are being a little bit vague in their explanation of this. I talked to Billick yesterday, like he and I got in PM and we're putting our heads together on it, and we think we have an idea, but we don't know until he actually comes out and we see what this true damage factor translates into. I've said it many times, true damage is not very good. However, it depends on how they calculate it. I'll go through that in a second, but on the surface, guys, 3000 damage factor for a single target, that's massive. That's like huge. And so from that standpoint, he is a single target damage nuker. His second skill is off the charts, okay? That is 75% of stats, 25% march speed, 20% health, 30% attack. And then his third skill adds another 20% defense. That is 95% that's 95% of buffs. 95% of stat sticks. That is just like, that's crazy. And so from that standpoint, he's got some extra smite bonus damage he does when that military sage is in effect off of his active skill. When he fires the active skill, he gets the military sage. This has got the true damage. We'll come back to that because it's binary. It's 2 different ways that it can go, and we'll tell you how it works. However, when that military sage is in effect, he gets the extra smite damage bonus, and then he also gets a chance to do his 400 smite damage proc, and he's got a 50% chance to do that. So it's going to fire a lot during that military sage effect. What people have to understand is that the military sage effect, there's no cooldown on this. And if you can just get this guy to fire off more and faster, there's like hardly any cooldown at all because he's firing his active skill so fast. We're going to tell you how he does that. All right. So the fourth skill is where it happens. Okay. Because first of all, you're going to take 10% less damage. That's great. This is the big part of this entire kit, is that he's going to gain rage. He's going to gain, you see down here, 20 rage for every target hit with the true damage AoE effect. Okay, now we know this is going to be an effect hit two enemy troops, and it's not going to be the target. Like, you got to hit two enemy troops that are not the target. That was kind of confirmed by Martel VIP. Okay, and so when that happens, you get the 20 rage for each target you hit. Well, if you're firing this off when he does his active skill, and then the secondary commander does his active skill, you're firing that off, and then their third skills, instant proc smites firing off, and then the true damage fires off again. You're doing AoE like constantly. Okay, and you are gaining rage constantly. And if you're gaining this much rage with the 900 rage requirement that he has, he is, guys, he is like rapid fire. Like, he's like a Huo, but better. You know, the reason why we loved Huo so much in this game is because Huo came out, okay, and everybody was very skeptical of Huo at the beginning. Very skeptical. And the reason why was because he was single target, right? But then when you actually look in his kit and you look at his third skill, he fires off his skill with 150 less rage to fire his active skill. That puts his rage requirement at 850. That's why we loved him. And that's why after about 6 months that he was released in the game, everybody had him. Like, you had to have him, because you had to put a big damage dealer behind him to trigger that active skill and that big damage as much as possible. That's why he and Joan were so good for so long. And that's why he and Arthur were good, and Arthur was able to help carry this guy because he was doing so many active skills, and that just makes your DPS go up and up and up when you fire off. Well, this dude has got 900, but he's got a massive rage engine. So he's going to fire off every 6 seconds, guys, or it's going to be really close to every 6 seconds, which means the military sage lasts for 5 seconds. Like, this is going to have like 80% uptime, 90% uptime. It's going to be crazy. And so from that standpoint, when you look at this, that's what makes him really, really good, is that he's going to be gaining that rage. Okay. The expertise is like nothing to write home about, right? Because you're basically going from 20% of this smite damage as fixed true damage to 30%. That's it. There's no other effects to the expertise. So let me show you how this is going to go, because Bill and I were talking about it. It's going to go one of two directions. It's either going to be, if you come back here and you look at this, we'll just look at the expertise, right? It's either going to be 30% of the smite damage result, which is the red numbers, or it's going to be 30% of the smite damage factor as true damage. Okay, so I broke this out really, really easy. This gives you the idea. Let me pull this thing up, okay? Here's what it is. All right, Sun Tzu prime true damage. You have this situation up here. That is one way it's going to go. And then you have this situation down here. That's the other way. Let me walk you through it, okay? Because there's a difference between, you see right here, based off of damage result. And then down here, it's based off of damage factor. Okay, and so if it's based off the damage result, all right, let's say Sun Tzu does his active skill. It's a 3,000 damage factor. And the result, if you're hitting a target, let's say Sun Tzu, you take him out and you go hit a barb, or you go hit a march. When he does his smite damage, you see 15,000 in red numbers, okay? That's a hypothetical, but that's 15,000 in red numbers. From there, we can calculate. That's a total of 15,000. Now, if you get 30% of that damage result, that's a 4,500 damage factor that you're doing the true damage, and you're doing it to 2 targets. And you got to remember, there's no 15% mitigation by hitting multiple targets. So that is a 9,000, that's a 9,000 damage result. So you're doing 4,500 in red numbers to 2 targets, equaling 9,000. All right. And then let's just say William Wallace fires at 2,400 damage factor. That's going to be an end result of a damage result of 12,000. Now, the reason why that result's so high is because you're getting all the smite benefits, the bonuses, the enhancements, the boosts, all the things from the formation, all the things from your equipment, from the smite bonuses, from the commander's passive skill. Everything goes into that. And that's why that smite damage is so high compared to true damage and how it's been working. But if it's true damage based on damage result, and William Wallace has got 12,000, and then you've got, let's put this here, then you've got the true damage based on the factor of 12,000, that's going to be 7,200, because that's going to be about 3,600 you're hitting each target. Okay, so with that being said, the total number of damage result that Sun Tzu would do in this scenario is 31,200. He's going to do 15,000 on his active skill. He's going to do 9,000 off of a 30% off that damage result. And then he's going to do another 7,200 off of William Wallace's damage result. That's 31,200. Do you guys, if that's the case, guys, that's more damage factor than BQ. Hitting 5 targets. That's like reaching Chin levels of DPS because he's firing off every 6 seconds. We're gonna have a commander that is as close to Chin as we've ever seen. Like it's knocking on the door when it comes to Chin DPS. So just understand that, okay? So that's one way it could go. The other binary way it could go is based off a damage factor and not damage result. If it's based off a damage factor, this is very important, okay? This means that you do a damage factor of 3,000, then on the front end, the true damage takes 30% of that factor and you have a true damage factor of 900, okay? Now, the reason why that's very, very important is because true damage cannot be enhanced. It cannot be bonused. It cannot be boosted, okay? It's true damage. It cannot be enhanced like smite, combo, and skill. It can't be enhanced. So that 900 true damage factor translates into 1,875, okay? 1,875. That is a lot lower than up here if it's based on the damage result off the red numbers. So 1,875, you're hitting 2 targets. That's a 3,750 damage result number, okay? Compared to 9,000. All right, and then you go based off of William Wallace's 2,400 damage factor. He does 12,000. Hold on, let me do this here. Put it right here in the middle. He's doing 12,000 damage result, red numbers. Then that's going to translate into 1,500 for 2 marches, totaling 3,000. Then the total damage result in this scenario is 21,750. Okay, this is how I initially thought he was going to be put into the game. And that's why I kept telling everybody, like, true damage, if true damage is based on factor, like it always is, then this is the result we're getting down here on this level. This is the result we're getting, okay? But if true damage is based on the damage result, the red numbers, it's this is gonna be like Chin level. Holy geez. So those are the 2 ways. And like I said, Billick and I talked about it. Daver and I have talked, I've talked to all the brainiacs about this, and it all depends on when he gets released in the game and we can unlock him and we can go use him. We will find out within 10 minutes. Because we will run that first skill up to 5, we'll get the 3,000 damage factor, and we will be able to tell you immediately which of these 2 directions it's gonna go. I'm sorry for nerding out on you, but everybody has to understand that. Anybody that tells you they know which ways it's gonna go, they don't know. Don't listen to them. Okay, I saw people running the simulator. I run the simulator as much as anybody. And Specco and I were talking, and Specco's like, hey, this was in the middle of the day yesterday. Like, people had already been running the simulator. They were already doing proclamations on Sun Tzu. And Specco was like, hey, oh, by the way, I was kind of wrong because it looks like the true damage is hitting different targets, not the main target. So these duels are not going to be fully right. And he was also basing it off of this. And so nobody knows. Nobody really even knows until he comes in the game. And that's where I'm just saying, if this is the case up here, If that's going to be the case, this dude is must max broken. Holy geez, put him up with chin. And then now we got to kind of reassess our investment list, okay? If it's based off of damage factor down here at the bottom, then I think he's going to be exceptionally good, but he's going to be more in the gang category where he's not really a must max. He's just not doing as much damage as AoE commanders. That's what people have to understand. Now, do I think that Sun Tzu is a must max commander? I don't know until we find that out. If it's based on, if this true damage right here is based off of damage factor, he's not going to be a must max commander. If it is based on damage results and red numbers, taking all the smite enhancement with it, then holy geez, like this guy is going to be insane. Okay. The rest of his kit is amazing. And honestly, what's crazy is that even if this is based on damage factor and he doesn't quite hit that must max commander level, he's still really easy to invest in because you can get him 5-5-1-5. Because here, all you care about is just doing smite damage. You get 50% chance at level 1. You don't care if it's 200. You just want to fire this thing off anyways. It'd be the same thing if it was based off damage result. It doesn't matter. 5-5-1-5 Sun Tzu is like the best low budget commander in the game. Like it's incredible. Like he's like somewhere between 92 and 93% effective of his expertise if he's 5-5-1-5. Like it's really, really good. And so from that standpoint, anybody can get this guy. You're running 2 infantry marches. Easy to go get this guy 5-5-1-5, run 2 smite, get Ragnar and CPO out of here, and get this guy where he needs to be. But again, if this all is based on if his true damage is all based on the damage result, the red numbers, then Katie bar the door. Like, oh my gosh. Like, get ready, because it's going to be an onslaught of damage this guy's going to do. I can't believe they would do that for infantry. After BQ with Luce, they're going to put another commander that's going to just upend Luce and BQ and damage, and he's a single target damage commander. Nope. He's an AoE commander. If that is based off a damage result, that's going to be insane. Like chin level insane. Insanity. So that answers the question. It is still to be determined. And I'm telling you guys, within 10 minutes of this dude being in the game, we'll max this thing out to level 5. We'll go hit a barb. We'll do the calculations and boom, we will immediately tell you. Immediately. If this guy's going to be broken must max or if he's going to be really, really freaking good. And so that's the conclusion we came to. And if you guys have any questions, get down in the comments. Okay. Like I said, Billick and I have collaborated on this. We talked about it back and forth. I encourage everybody to check out his channel. He is great with this stuff. Check out Daver's Toolbox. He's going to have all kinds of stuff on this. These guys are the smartest guys in rock. And I'm able to take their stuff and go present it and say, hey, let's think about this together. Let's think about how this is going to work. And this is what makes it really, really good. So like I said, get down in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. And if you haven't joined my Discord, please do so. Hit that link and get into my Discord. You can ask any question you want. We're there to help you. It's really, really good. And with all that being said, y'all have a great day, broskies.